y'all, this is part 2 of my PJO sesh. So someone asked me to talk about different characters. Thank you for commenting. So I'll be talking about opinions on different characters. First, I want to talk about Calypso. She is super controversial. Personally, I don't mind her, but I can definitely see why people don't like her. And to be honest, I don't like her as much either. Although, I feel like being all alone in the island must get super lonely, but I hate Epic Calypso. But this is a PJO rant, so anyways. Calypso is okay. I'm glad she just let Percy go. I'm glad she did, otherwise I wouldn't like her at all. Next is Jason. I really like Jason in Lost Hero. His chapters were a little boring, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. And I think the only reason I thought his chapters were boring is cause they were basically like,
oh man, I forgot everything. ON Lupa is Sam. Alpha. Zooey Mama Piper is fine shit.
But I do like his character. Next is Leo. Personally, I like Leo. I think Uncle Rick wrote him really well, and I love his humor. I feel like a lot of people like him because of the fan art of him. However, I like him cause of his goofy personality. No shade at all to my people who like him cause he's cute. Cause girl, boy, same. Next is Rachel. I went into a little bit of Rachel stuff, but not too much. I really don't understand the hate for her. Cause just why? But from what I've seen, they didn't like her because of Percy. I think that she liked Percy and went for it. But when Percy and Annabeth got together, she backed off. Also, we can't forget Percy thought she was cute as well. So it clearly wasn't one-sided. Also, I understand Annabeth liked Percy since 12, but she didn't need to be that rude to Rachel. But nevertheless, I love Annie. I also love their relationship at the end of Last Olympian. Next, I want to talk about my ship or dips. And nitrogen monoxide am not homophobically accept. Everyone here first is Valgrachi. No, just no. I'm sorry, but nitrogen monoxide, I feel more of a bromance between the two. Also, I do think that they'd be cuties together. But based off context, I don't ship. Next is Rachel and Octavian. See, cause I just know it's the Rachel haters shipping them cause what the actual DUCK, and yes, this ship exists. But anyways, next is Silena and Clarice. Even though Clarice has Chris, I do like the Clarice and Silena ship. However, I like Charles and Silena better, but I'm not against Clarice and Silena. But it's not my first pick. Next is Luke and Annabeth. So if Luke was younger than Yud, okay, nothing more than okay. But per Cabeth for life. Next is the haters on the Lost Hero. Personally, I like the new introduction to Piper, Leo, Jason, etc. I think that people were just mad that Percy wasn't the main character and that the pub wasn't first person. So here's my take. First is Percy absence. I think that yes, it would have been nice to know Percy wasn't dead, but we learned shortly he was missing. And personally, I didn't mind seeing new characters and the changes in camp. Half-blood through the eyes of Piper, Leo, and Jason. It was also really nice to see the other cabin's interior. Next is the first-person thingy. I really like the first person in the first 5 books. I hope Trials of Apollo is first person, but other than all that, I really like Heroes of Olympus. Next is my opinion on Bianca. For Bianca, I feel like it's very hit or miss if someone likes her or not. Such as, these are just 2 examples of people who either hate or love Bianca. Here's my take. I definitely see where people don't like her are coming from if you look at her from the more of the critical aspect. She seems like sort of a bad sister. I mean, she left her brother with a group of people they barely know, died and didn't even say goodbye, and like it says in the hate screenshot, she joins the Hunters, which could mean she wouldn't be able to see Nika again or talk to him. But this is where I kind of disagree. Being a hunter is where you don't romantically like anyone, and hunters don't normally associate with boys and men. However, I don't think that would mean not interacting with your own brother. However, if the hunters travel the world and don't usually stay in one place for too long, in theory, Bianca would see Nika close to never. Also, I will always be a Bianca defender because Bianca had to raise Nika on her own for a while. Also, who would turn down immortality? Bianca knew that. Percy and or Camp Half-Blood was a safe place for Nika, being it was a sanctuary for half-bloods to live and train, which is even proven to her when they go there before the quest. Also, I've always thought this, but I recently heard this from a popular YouTuber. I'll go ahead and put it on the screen.
If nobody else is gonna say it, I will. Bianca dying was the best thing that possibly could have happened, and so was Nico blaming Percy for it. Cause think about it, if that doesn't happen, what happens? For a second, Bianca's alive, yay. Then what? Cause sure, she's not a problem for the prophecy. She's a hunter of Artemis. She's gonna stay 12 forever. What about Nico? Sure, Nico's sister is alive now, but now he's got a goddess to blame for stealing her. Or if Bianca does die and he doesn't blame Percy, he's blaming Hephaestus for it. So Nico is just sitting there at Camp Half-Blood, brooding about the gods taking his sister from him until either Kronos and Luke show up with a pretty sweet deal, or, arguably worse, the Battle of Manhattan rolls around and Nico has never been to the underworld, never formed a relationship with Hades, so he doesn't get that big dramatic entrance with 3 gods and an army of the dead in tow to save the day. I said what I said. Bianca dying and Nico pointing the finger at Percy is literally what saved the world.
I was so happy I wasn't the only one. So yeah, I think that's it for now, friends. Comment for part 3.